Hello, and welcome to the Get Lean and Eat Clean podcast. My name is Gryn. I'm a certified health coach, trainer, and author. And this podcast is for middle-aged men and women looking to optimize their health and get their bodies back to what it once was 10 to 15 years ago. I will give you simple, actionable items to get long-term sustainable results. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show. All right, welcome to the Get Lean, Eat Clean podcast. My name is Gryn. Hopefully you had a great weekend. Happy Tuesday if you're listening to this on Tuesday. And hopefully you listened to my interview with Naeem Mahmood. He's a peak performance coach, and we touched on, how to perform best on a daily basis, how to become just more productive and create optimal routines, for daily wins. So definitely check out my interview with Naeem. Really enjoyed that. It's an area that I've always been interested in. And I want to piggyback off that episode to touch on some, ways and formulas to get more done throughout the day. Craig Ballantyne, who's a longtime performance coach, I have to credit him for coming up with this idea. And I thought I would share this with you because, as a listener, I want you to be as productive as you can throughout the days. And so he has a formula called the 10-3-2-1-0 formula. And I thought this would be sort of a fun thing and a way to piggyback off my last episode. And what this really means is just rules of thumb that you could follow on a daily basis. And the 10 is 10 hours before bed, no more caffeine. So I know that might be tough for some people. So if you go to bed at 10, then you really want to stop your last cup of coffee or anything with caffeine around noon. Some people can assimilate caffeine better. So I would say that at least his is 10 hours. Some people can handle caffeine better, and you probably don't need to do 10. But either way, I think to be safe, it's all about, structuring a good sleep routine. And it starts with not having caffeine too close to bed. So 10 hours before bed, no more caffeine. 3 hours before bed, no more food or alcohol. Definitely in agreement with that, just to help with digestion. And, you don't want to be eating too close to bed or even drinking too close to bed. Because for one, even if it's not even alcohol, I even find with water, as a middle-aged male, you don't want to be going to bed. You don't want to be going to bed and then getting up and peeing a bunch during the night, which can happen sometimes for me. So you definitely don't want to drink too close to bed either. So great for digestion, great for not having to get up every 3 hours, drinking too close to bed. So that's the 3. So we got the 10, the 3, and the 2. Can you guess what the 2 hours before bed, what you should do? No more work. And so this is probably just a way to sort of shut the brain down, end all work-related activities. No more business calls or checking emails or reading reports or thinking about, all the things you got to do tomorrow. Just sort of shutting the brain down. I love that one. 2 hours before bed. And the 1, what is that one? What can you guess? 1 hour before bed. We've talked about it on this podcast. No more screen time. And I guess if you really need to look at a screen, you can wear some blue light blocking glasses. But turning off all phones, TVs, and computers would be a great place to start. And maybe picking up a book. This is for people essentially who struggle turning off their brain. And, last thing you want to do is be staring at emails right before bed. So definitely 1 hour before bed is a good rule to follow. The 0 is the number of times you want to hit snooze. And so what he really talks about here is, perhaps putting your alarm clock like a little bit far away from your bed, like maybe across the room. So you got to get up, leave your bed, and turn it off, because the last thing you really want to do is just keep hitting snooze and keep going back to sleep, which my wife tends to do. So when it's time to get up, it's time to get up. And I like it as a rule of thumb. My alarm, actually, when I have to get up, is across the room. So I do follow this. So that's the 10-3-2-1-0 approach. Some of the other things I wanted to highlight that I got from Craig was also, too, a great lesson is to dominate the mornings. This is something that I always been honing in on and trying to get better and better at. But a good thing to do is, just come up with a block of time in the morning where you're just, you're just getting all your most important things done. Because I don't know about you, but for me, I find that, your attention span sort of fades as the day goes on. And I always work best in the morning. So I process things better. I have better quality, if I have to read or I have to do things that are maybe a little bit more intensive, knock it out first thing, dominate the morning, have that to-do list done by like 10 a.m. And so he talks about the single most important factor in winning your mornings and owning your days is to get up 15 minutes earlier and work on your number one priority before anyone else is awake. And, we all want to value sleep, but we also don't want to be sleeping when we are most productive. And a lot of times, at least for me, that's in the morning. So I do love getting up and making that sort of, my time of the day to get the most important thing knocked out right away. So, anyways, that is what I wanted to touch on today is the 10-3-2-1-0. And just to rehash, we got 10 hours before bed, cut down on caffeine. 3 hours before bed, no more food or alcohol. I love this one. 2 hours before bed, no more work. Maybe spend some time with the family or read a book. 1 hour before bed, no more screen time. Turn off all phones, TVs, and computers. And then 0 is the number of times you will hit the snooze button in the morning. So when it's time to get up, maybe put your alarm or your phone, whatever you use, across the room. So you got to get up. That'll wake you up, and turn it off, and then you can start your day. So maybe you got some ideas from this. If anything, take some of those and run with them, and you can always implement them one at a time. But creating these routines, not only you'll become more productive, but you'll just feel better in general. Because for one thing, if you're creating a habit like stopping eating 3 hours before bed, a lot of times, whatever you're eating an hour before bed is probably not the healthiest thing in the world. So these are just great habits that sort of piggyback off each other. And hopefully, you can implement them into your life. So that's what I want to touch on today. Have a great rest of the week. Got some great interviews coming up, and I'll talk to you on Friday. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks for listening to the Get Lean, Eat Clean podcast. I understand there are millions of other podcasts out there, and you've chosen to listen to mine, and I appreciate that. Check out the show notes at briangryn.com for everything that was mentioned in this episode. Feel free to subscribe to the podcast and share it with a friend or family member that's looking to get their body back to what it once was. Thanks again, and have a great day.